Just around 3 months ago, I did some repotting, mostly with my Hoyas, and through that process, I propagated a bunch of my Hoyas that were living on my what I consider my Hoya shelf, and in my IKEA cabinet. That is a Rudsta cabinet. I have since taken a look at all the growth, and I wanted to show you that growth today. I am watching them flourish in new potting soil as well as in smaller form. I love watching smaller plants grow into larger plants. It helps me, it makes me, and it allows me to actually see the growth that they're doing, which is really cool. So today I'm going to show one by one all the plants that I propagated that are showing good signs of growth. Most of them you're going to not be able to tell, but hopefully I've snagged some pictures over the past couple of months where you can see a side by side of some of them, and others just take my word for it. They're growing, they're doing great. So let's start with my first plant, and that will be the black margin Hoyas. All right, so this first one actually started off as just one small leaf, which is the darker leaf here. It then grew a second leaf and now a third leaf. I hope you can see that there. So I am super happy with the growth this has started. I don't see where a actual vine or tendril will come out, but there are some leaves growing, and I'm super excited about that process. To note, the first few that I'm going to show you are actually outside of my IKEA cabinet, my Rudsta cabinet. So it's really cool to see all of their growth and what they're doing. This one here had 2 leaves and has spat out just one, but it's small, it's dainty, it's cute. Here's our next one. And for this one, I noticed a whole, I'll say this is probably where a tendril is going to come out of. And from this node, I'm getting 2 leaves, just very small, but they're doing their job. So it's really cool to see that. Here's another one that's been outside of the Rudsta, and it's got great production. There are 3 total points, or 3 total stems in here. And it looks like I've got at least 3 new leaves on this option. Really nice having that one. Now we're going to take a look at some that have been in the Rudsta cabinet. This is the first one here. That one has no growth. Oh, this one has just a little baby growth. Let's see if you can see that. Just there at the bottom. And here we are with our last one from the cabinet. Looks like I've had 1 leaf die off. We're gonna go ahead and take that out. But I've got at least what I can see 3 new growths or new leaves pulling out. This is another fun one as it's got some dangle to it. As you can see there. All right, so I think that's all of the plants that were inside the that were outside of the cabinet that were repotted during that December repot, and I think they're doing very well. I can't complain with all the new growth that's coming along. If you haven't watched that video, which I'd advise to go watch it, it talks about, I'm talking about the problem that I had with pests. I was having a mealybug issue, so taking them out of the soil, cleaning them was worth the battle to get all of this new growth because I wasn't getting that new growth before. Speaking of new growth, we've got some beautiful large leaves here on this pubicalyx. This is going to be the only pubicalyx that I have now. The rest of it I ended up letting go of because there was lots of root rot. I was having tons of issues with the plant. So I took one stem and it's produced these two new leaves for me. Oh, get up here so you can see me. It's produced these two new leaves for me, and this has been great to have. So I can't wait for this plant to start vining more, producing more tendrils so that I get more green growth on this. They're still a little flimsy. I might actually need to water this one, but it's doing great. Next up is an Australis, and this plant, again, is another one that had some major issues. I just destroyed taking it apart and was left with just a few pieces, and this is, from what I can see, the only survivor. As you can see there's lots of great new growth on top. It's getting some color, some sun stress from my grow light. It's just a really gorgeous color. I can't wait for this to grow even more. And hopefully once it starts to grow more and branch out, I can propagate those pieces and create a larger pot once I get some more growth. So this next plant is a Hoya macrophylla, and I was able to separate it. They were both in the same pot, but this is the largest piece, as you can tell, the smaller size. The smaller one has a beautiful leaf on it, and if you can tell at the tip of the nodes, there's several what I would consider like breaking points where you're going to see some new growth take place. They're dark, deep, like burgundy color, which is very promising that that's going to be some new growth. I've also got some great roots growing in that one. This larger one, I didn't know if it was going to make it. It actually was the worst out of the two options, but the larger leaves that were existing are still doing quite well. And then it's got some additional new growth. Let's see if I can get it here. That new growth at the bottom, it's not going to focus. So hopefully you see that new growth there. It's a total of three leaves. One's just really teeny tiny that are growing. I have to keep my eye on this. I've always had a mealybug problem with new leaves on this plant. So I'm actually, while this is out of the cabinet, going to spray it down and make sure that we are nice and healthy and bug pest free moving forward. So next up we have my verticillata verticillata, the hard leaves splash. I've only had this for maybe going on a year now, a little less than. Got it from a local plant shop here in Charlotte, and I didn't see any growth on this until I repotted it. This is just some fresh soil, and I did that whenever I did the repot with everything else. I didn't have any pest issues, but I wasn't seeing growth, so I did want to try something new. Just like my macrophylla, I noticed some dark burgundy patches at the top. This makes me think that I'm going to start seeing some additional leaves or some additional tendrils from this location. And speaking of leaf, you're not going to see that. Let's see the best way to get this. but there is a little baby leaf coming out in the center of my palm there, which I am super excited about. Again, all of this tendril, and I have not had any additional leaves grow. So looking forward to seeing more leaves on this bad boy. I've thought about also training it to get set on a trellis, but right now I'm loving it hanging in the IKEA cabinet, and as more leaves cascade down, it'll look really nice. All right, so I think this is the last repot that I'm going to show you today, especially of the ones that I've seen the most growth. Like I said at the beginning, this has been truly exciting to watch these repots grow, and knowing that I repotted them at the right time to give them this additional growth. We're not even into spring yet. I still have the spring blasts where they're just going to have nice growth over that time frame, especially if I continue to water properly and provide the proper nutrition and food for them. So this last one is my Hoya Splash, excuse me. And as you can see right at the front there, that really dark leaf, nice and gorgeous, deep green color with a little bit of splash. That is the newest leaf of this bunch. It's just one leaf right now. I can see another one trying to peek out. I'm super thrilled to have this little bit of growth on this plant. I have a larger one that I'll actually try and take out here. So I have this larger, this is the mother, if you would like to say. I didn't actually cut this from that though. It was just in the same pot and I separated them. So we're not gonna call it a mother plant. I haven't seen any additional growth on this Hoya. It's still got a lot to acclimate though in this larger pot with the larger plant. So still some work. This top piece is actually under a grow light, so it's getting more light than the back half. I don't know if that's causing it not to do anything, but I love this plant. I love this Hoya. I love the large leaves, the speckling in it. This is actually one of my first Hoyas, believe it or not. So it's been a long ways. I've had it for multiple years, and it's one of the reasons why my journey with Hoyas started. So really excited to have this, and now to have a second one of the same plant just continue to grow. I can only wait for it to get much larger, even larger than this one. All right, well, that was a quick little tour of my plants that I repotted back in December. I hope you enjoyed that, watching them grow. I'll also throw in some B-roll here at the end because I need to now water some of these plants. So you'll get some watering love here in the next few minutes of some of these great new options or great new. All right, so that was a quick video most likely, but I really wanted the chance to show you some of these new growths on these plants. It's amazing to watch this process. This is the reason why I got into plants and started growing plants in my collection. Hoyas are my favorite, as we've talked about before, so I will always show love to them. But here in the next couple of videos, especially my plant-related videos, we're going to adventure out. I'm actually going to PlantCon in Orlando, Florida. I'll be there on the 21st through the 23rd. The 22nd will be the main day at the expo hall. So I'm super excited to go to this event. I'm going to bring you along with me. So look out for some future videos on PlantCon. I'm excited for what I'm going to buy, what I'm going to see. And you're also going to meet some great friends that are going to be hanging out with me over that weekend. For now, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for taking your time to jump into my plant life with me. If you enjoyed this video, please hit me a like and feel free to subscribe for more plant-related videos as well as daily life videos. Right now I'm going through my job hunt, so that's definitely an interesting one. And you can watch those videos at the end of this video, and there's a whole playlist that you can click on and watch all 4 weeks of my job hunt journey. Until next time, I'll catch you later. If you've made it this far in the video, Down in the comments, leave me a note of your favorite plant.